What will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us.
This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about we the people choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
We need to remember above and beyond that we must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing!
You want healthy children. Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
Come to you today as a former Democrat. I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
The people dreamed this country, and it's the people who are making America great again.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
You know how sometimes I've been telling you that we have to be fluid, we have to be ready to go on a moment's notice? Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff happening right now. And the first update I want to bring to you was that John Ratcliffe has been confirmed as a CIA director. He was confirmed 74-25. So that's some good news. We got to talk that up. That's great news. Now, on the other hand, we got Trump getting ready to come out here and sign some more executive orders. Don't know what they are. He decided he was going to call I don't want to call it a press conference, but a signing conference at 2:30. It's 2:51. He hasn't walked out there yet, so I had to jump on. Didn't have a show prepared. Also, what's happening, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this on. They are beginning to vote on one aspect of moving Pete Hegseth forward. So I'm watching this. I'm going to let you guys watch it, and you can see what's going on. They're playing it, but what you're going to let me put this up here so you guys can see it. Okay, so what you're seeing in the lower left box there is basically C-SPAN is replaying his hearing from January 14th. In the upper right box is they are showing the actual vote which is taking place right now. What this is called a motion to close debate. So if they can close the debate, they can move to the full vote. Now, at the same time that all of this is happening, we also have the usual rhinos, especially, what's her name? Lisa Murkowski, piece of crap that she is. She has said she will not be voting in good conscience for Pete Hegseth. So, everyone's been waiting. What is going to happen next? Is Susan Collins going to vote for him? Are they going to have to bring in J.D. Vance to break the tie? I don't know. So I'm going to let you guys watch this in real time. I'm going to pay attention to the screen and seeing where Trump shows up and he starts signing the executive orders, but it's all happening simultaneously. So I'm going to do my best to basically bring you the coverage as needed or as it happens. But they're voting on Pete right now, and you guys can see that tally. And I will be right back to talk to you about it.
Without objection, that will be admitted at the point of your question. And I would like to enter into the record at this point a letter of support from retired Air Force Colonel Melissa Cunningham. Colonel Cunningham supports Mr. Hegseth and mentions his warrior ethos, combat effectiveness, and maintaining military training standards. So without objection, both of those will be admitted, and I now recognize Senator Rounds.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, good morning. I'd like to thank you for your service to our nation in uniform and also your work on behalf of your fellow veterans and for your willingness to enter into this maelstrom of public service. I think the presence of so many veterans who have showed up to support you speaks volumes. I also want to recognize your family's service and sacrifice. You know as well as anyone that it's not just the man that enters the arena, but it's the entire family who also works their way through this process as well. I appreciated our meeting with you and with your wife, Jennifer, this last month. I thought that we had an excellent conversation, and I appreciate your statement and your answers to the advanced policy questions, especially your desire to bring a renewed focus on warfighting and lethality back to the Pentagon. I also respect and I appreciate my friend and colleague, Senator Gillibrand, and some of her questions, and I know that she had a number of them in there. You had an opportunity to respond very briefly. Were there any other responses that you would like to make or clarifications that you would like to make before I move on to my questions?
Senator, thank you very much for the opportunity to meet and for the question. I would also acknowledge you were mentioning female engagement teams, which have shown a great deal of success on the battlefield. It would be and universally acknowledged as such. I've been in Iraqi homes where the language and gender barrier was real.
Again, so what you need to be paying attention to, the lower left box on C-SPAN is just playing Pete Hegseth's former testimony, his hearing as it goes on. The upper right box is what you need to take a look. Just keep your eyes focused on that. It's 49 to 48 right now. The yays are ahead 49 to 48. We want to see the yays win this so that we can close this stuff and they can move to the actual vote and try to get Pete Hegseth confirmed. So just wanted to make sure you guys know what you're looking at right now.
There's Democrats, there's Libertarians, there's Independents, there's Vegetarians, everything in between. None of that matters. It never mattered in how I led men and women, how I interacted with them, what missions we undertook. Politics has nothing to do with the battlefield, which is why President Trump has asked me to say, let's make sure all of that comes out. This is about warfighting capability, setting standards high, and making sure we give our boys, our men and women, everything they need to be successful on the battlefield. So politics can play no part in that, and I look forward to infusing that, as we always have inside our units.
I appreciate you making that very clear. And one of the areas that we want to do our best is to provide for the equipment and the technical capabilities so that no young man or woman
like I said,
enters into a battle
this stuff
as a
is
fair fight.
happening
And that they
so fast. For some reason, what we have now is Mitch McConnell has agreed to vote yes on advancing Pete Hegseth's confirmation. So they're not voting on the confirmation; they're voting on to advance the confirmation. And Mitch McConnell has decided to vote yes on it, which is odd because earlier he said he was not going to vote on it. Eric Doherty is giving us a running total here, and GOP starts the day at 53. Without Murkowski, it's at 52. Without take Collins off, it's 51. McConnell voted yes on advancing Hegseth. If he's a yes again and other GOPers hold, then J.D. Vance won't be needed to break a tie. If another one breaks, then they'll need J.D. Vance to break the tie. And that's still not really knowing whether or not John Fetterman is going to end up voting. So we have a lot of fluid stuff happening. I wanted to get on here so I can bring this all to you that you all can see. In addition to that, in addition to all that, even more so, now this is happening as we speak. Mike Johnson just signed off on the Lake and Riley Act, officially sending it to the desk of President Donald Trump for signature. This guy's been in office 3 days. It just doesn't stop. I ain't getting no sleep. Y'all ain't gonna get no sleep. There is so much happening. And it's not like I'm not being overly dramatic. It's just I'm just seeing news and news and news. And then Monica Page is talking to Ashley and said, listen, he's going to be going to North Carolina. Let's get on the air. Let's talk about this right as it happens. Whew. I need a break. So right now, let's go back to watching this hearing and let's see if we can get the votes to get this man out of, into cloture. And so now they've gone to this.
By airing false and unsubstantiated claims. Take, for example, the article published Tuesday, just this week, by the New York Times.
This is actually live on the floor. It is no longer just the cloture vote taking. We have Bill Haggerty actually testifying live on Pete Hegseth's behalf. I feel like I'm doing a football game here and being a color commentator. There's so much stuff. So let me get the hell out of Bill's way so you can hear him.
There was no physical abuse in my marriage. Yet look at this headline. Hegseth, ex-in-law, claims he was abusive to second wife, even though in the same article, the second wife disclaims all of this. This isn't journalism. Take a moment to think about this. This is a hit job. The New York Times intentionally ran with a salacious and debunked account, buried the truth, and distorted the lead simply to undermine President Trump and his nominee. The New York Times is not alone. Unfortunately, NBC News, The Hill, Politico, and even the Associated Press all chose to run this same salacious, false headline instead of the facts. Unfortunately, I'm not surprised. This is the type of misleading and often unequivocally false reporting that we've learned to expect from the left-leaning media. The American people remember that the New York Times is the same publication that denied and suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop story leading up to the 2020 election. It's the same paper that endorsed Joe Biden in 2020, the same paper that endorsed Kamala Harris in 2024. The American people are sick and tired of the deception stemming from this alliance between the Democrat Party and the so-called mainstream media. This is yet another example of a story published with an aim to do harm, and despite evidence to the contrary. It's why media has lost much of its credibility with the American people, who see this article for what it is: a desperate, last-minute attempt to generate controversy where none exists. Pete Hegseth is someone who's going to fix the Pentagon and deliver on President Trump's vision of peace through strength. He's exactly the type of leader that the Pentagon needs in the face of an increasingly complex and escalating security situation that's occurring around the world. So while I'm disappointed, I'm not surprised at this 11th hour attempt by the media to raise debunked and completely discredited falsehoods simply with an aim to derail a confirmation. I urge my colleagues to see through this noise, evaluate Pete's nomination based on the merits, which is why I plan to vote for Mr. Hegseth. I yield the floor and suggest the absence of a quorum. Oh, I'm sorry.
Will the senator withhold his request?
Yes. Move to vitiate the quorum.
The senator from Alabama is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to reiterate what my colleague from Tennessee just talked about, the importance of the vote that we just took just a few minutes ago. our nominee for new Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. Now, the procedure is, as we just voted, to close the vote, and now we wait 30 hours from just a few minutes ago and have the final vote on his nomination, which it looks like that he has the votes of a majority to be appointed or sent to the White House to be confirmed as the next Secretary of Defense. I'm on the Armed Services Committee, and I've watched 4 years of the destruction of the best military in our world, the United States of America. It is a shame what has happened. The DEI, the woke agenda that's being pushed on the troops in our country, to me is embarrassing. I'm a military brat. My dad died on active duty in the military, awarded 5 Bronze Stars and a Purple Heart at age 17, driving a tank across Europe after landing the first day at Normandy. We have to change course in our military. You know, we can talk about inflation and pumping gas and the crime and all the things that we're having a lot of problems with. But if you don't have a strong military to protect our borders and protect the citizens in our country from adversaries all over the world, we got problems. And it's got to start there. Pete Hegseth is the choice, the right choice. I like his age. I like his demeanor. I like the things he brings to our military. He's exciting, and he will energize this military into the next decade. And I'm excited about that. So hopefully in about 30 hours, we'll vote tomorrow night around 9 o'clock, and we'll vote to confirm Pete Hegseth is our new Secretary of Defense. Now, I'd like to turn to national security threats in our nation's agriculture sector and food supply chains. I'm on the Ag Committee. Over the past few years, the United States has experienced a rapid...
Let me fill you in on what's happened. In order to get to the actual full vote, you have to get voted out of committee. Once you get voted out of committee, then you got this way station, this netherland called cloture, where people have to stop debating and actually have to say, all right, let's bring it to the full vote. 51 to 49, it just got agreed to bring him to the full vote. Now, because of procedure, they have to wait, it looks like 30 hours. So 30 hours, 24 hours from now would be 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And then add 6 more to get to 30, so 9 o'clock tomorrow night. 9 o'clock on a Friday night, they will bring up Pete Hegseth for his final vote. Which means, of course, we'll be covering that at 9 o'clock, 9:05 tomorrow to see if Pete Hegseth is confirmed. Like John Thune said, and like Tom Cotton said, one way or the other, this is going to get done. Now, I showed you earlier, John Ratcliffe, he got confirmed. He's done. So that's two that I know of. Marco Rubio and now John Ratcliffe. John Ratcliffe, 74 to 25. The Democrats took their best shot. Chuck Schumer voted against him, but John Ratcliffe is now confirmed. He is a CIA director. He'll get sworn in almost immediately. I believe by J.D. Vance. Maybe Trump will do it today. Maybe that's why he was waiting. He's supposed to do these executive orders today, but he hasn't come out there as of yet. And that's probably because he realized it was Ratcliffe was going to get confirmed. Two down. So the next one will be tomorrow at 9 p.m. and they will be voting on Pete Hegseth. They've pushed PM Bondi back for 7 days, actually 6 days at this point. But we should know on Pete Hegseth tomorrow. And so right now, they're getting ready to talk. Let me see, what's he talking about right now?
From about 14,000 acres to 400,000 acres. This is an unbelievable and unsustainable pace for the United States of America. Now, Alabama is experiencing, my state, this firsthand. We have the 4th largest amount of foreign-owned agricultural land in the United States at 2.2 million acres, most of which is forest land. It's not really agriculture in terms of growing row crops, it's basically our forest. You know, I represent over 62,000 farmers in the state of Alabama. I hear from them time and time again about foreign activity in our agriculture community. Threats like these are something our states can't handle all on their own, which is why President Ford established the Committee on Foreign Investments in the United States, also known in short terms, CFIUS. This was in 1975. In other words, this committee is supposed to keep an eye on foreign investments in our country. This is the governmental body that oversees the vetting process of foreign investments and acquisition of American companies in the interest of national security. CFIUS is composed of 9 members of President's cabinet, including Secretary.
While he's talking about that, we're still waiting for the feed to show the executive, the Oval Office with Trump signing things. He's not there yet. He did, however, send out something that's pretty interesting. So yesterday, I told you that there were some people in some of these agencies that were trying to circumvent the DEI takedown. Yesterday at 5 p.m., Trump ordered all DEI employees done. Paid leave, go away, do what you need to do, but just get out of here. So now, Trump has sent out an email to all federal agencies requesting info about anybody who's attempting to disguise DEI offices and DEI employees. Anyone with knowledge of these subversive acts must report it within 10 days. If they don't, they get punished, fired, and that's how you do it. So he sent out an email, said basically, hey, if you know this stuff is happening, you have to let us know. Now, another thing that just happened, stuff just keeps happening. A judge in Seattle has basically, stop saying basically, I'm not going to say that. A judge in Seattle has put pump the brakes on Trump's birthright executive order. Let me bring that up. Let me see what you can, so you guys can see this. Hold on, let me bring it up. All right, here we go. Judge in Seattle blocked Trump's order that ends birthright citizenship for illegals. New York Times posted that. My immediate response to that was simple. Now it gets appealed. It will go to SCOTUS. Trump knew that there were going to be legal challenges to a lot of the stuff that he's doing. All right, great. You stopped it. Now the next thing is everybody gets to appeal and play this game. From there, because that was probably a district judge, now it'll go to the appellate court. The appellate court, regardless which side wins, whether it's Trump or the ACLU and whoever's suing him, it doesn't matter who wins, because the next thing will happen, it will be appealed to the Supreme Court. So this thing is on its way already up to the Supreme Court, and they're going to have to decide whether or not birthright citizenship is being interpreted the correct way. Trump knew this. Everybody watching had to have known it. Expect it. Expect certain things like that, which are constitutional challenges. That's very clear. That's Article 14. That is a constitutional challenge. Both sides understand how this is going to work. There are no surprises with this. I am positive that Trump knew that this would end up getting into the court system, and now it'll just take its time. But now what's going to happen is there will be a definitive answer on this one way or the other. Unless, of course, the Supreme Court punts. And if the Supreme Court punts, then there's nothing really to do about it, and they're going to have to basically challenge it again. Stop saying basically. They'll have to challenge it again. Now, earlier, I did not get censored. My video earlier got taken down, but it was user error. And what I mean by that is I had a problem with the software over on Rumble Studio, and then when it didn't work, I had to run it directly through YouTube, and then I went back to Rumble, and I clicked delete on the stream that I had started, not knowing it was going to delete it from the YouTube channel. It just went blip, and I went, oh my God, it's gone. And so I had to work with my YouTube rep. Yes, I have a YouTube rep. Despite all the crap that they do, they have given me a rep. I said, can you put that back up and make sure, everything's okay? Yeah, okay. So it's back up. It's running. So if you missed Trump's speech earlier, it is there. So next thing I want to talk to you about is we're still looking at the White House. Nothing has changed as of yet. We're still waiting for him to show up. So let's go ahead and take some comments. Barry, will there be pushback? A lot of things, but as we know, Trump will win in the end. Yep. I don't know. I don't know. And the reason why I say I don't know is because it's going to be up to those 9 people in robes who sit at the Supreme Court. That's a constitutional challenge. And the fact of the matter, let them fight it out. Let them continue to put it in court. I don't know what he's about to sign right now. This is going to be very interesting. I don't know what he's going to be signing. The Dems will fight on everything Trump wants and that the majority of people voted for. Yeah, let them expose themselves. What was that? A judge here in Tarrant County, Texas, announced that he's in full cooperation to enforce law and order along with protecting the citizens. There's going to be some, and there's going to be some who won't. Hey, Barry, your video on Trump's speech was deleted when I was watching on replay today. I just responded. It's back up. It was mea culpa. It was my fault, not YouTube. It was my fault. So it's up. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you very much. How much do you think gas will be soon? I'm pretty sure that's gonna go down quite quickly. Any news on the JFK files? Nope. It was supposed to come out yesterday at 3 o'clock, and it didn't. So I'm not really sure. We are not getting notifications on YouTube. Again, that may be my fault, or not my fault, nobody's fault. Here's how notifications are supposed to work on YouTube. You are only supposed to get notified a maximum of 3 times in any 24-hour period. So if I do more than 3 videos in a 24-hour period, it is not going to send a notification out to every single video. And as I'm looking at the content from yesterday, I did 2 videos yesterday, plus this morning doing the WEF speech, and that's 3 in a 24-hour period. So you probably wouldn't have gotten a notice about this, which means, since you've brought that up, in order to get the proper notifications, go ahead and join our X group. That's how you're going to make sure every single time we do a video, it actually you get notified. I post information as to every time we bring a video live. So go to fanfareshop.org/group, join 13,000 fellow patriots. So I plan, as of right now, to go live at about 7:30 if there's news. If I go live, I will post something an hour beforehand. So I will post something at 6:30 saying, "Hey, going live." That way you can follow along that way. But if you don't do that, you're probably not going to get a notification because we're doing so much. YouTube only allows 3 notifications in any 24-hour period. And right now, I've expended my 3 per 24-hour period because of this morning's impromptu WEF. So now I'm past that. You will not get a notification more than likely on the next one. Jim Acosta from CNN being moved to the graveyard shift, so he may leave. So in case you didn't know what conservative ex-gal is saying here, Jim Acosta got noticed today, got information that, hey, your show sucks, and we're not going to fire you, but we're going to do the next best thing. We're going to banish you to Siberia, i.e. like overnight 1 a.m., where nobody's ever going to see you. And so he's talking about leaving. We're going to see a lot of that self-deportation from CNN as well. Okay. Thanks, Ashley. Got the message. Let's see here. What are we doing? All right. Next thing up here. Come on, Alaskans voted that washed-up cretin out. Yeah, Lisa Murkowski, she might just count on her being a Democrat. She voted for all of Biden's thugs. Didn't have a problem voting for Merrick Garland. Didn't have a problem voted for Lloyd, whatever his name was, Darth Vader looking dude. No problem. Pete Buttigieg, no problem. Pete Hegseth, yeah, I got a problem. Yeah, wish. YouTube is not giving us any notifications. Well, I do know that not to be the case. YouTube notifications usually go out like 30 minutes before a video goes live, and then again a couple of minutes before live. And I've got dummy accounts, and I get the notifications just so I can make sure the notifications are going out. So if I get notifications on my other phone, and here, it's sitting right here. This one, and this is the other. I got two different phones. This is my it's not a burner, but it's a deep secret phone, and I get notifications on that one. Let's see. I watch Barry Cunningham so much that my dog starts barking when I get notifications. My dog is mega. That's funny. That's really funny. So I'm trying to burn some time until he comes out for his next thing, which he is not coming as of yet. Let me show you, because Monica had sent out this, and this was something I wanted you to see. She had, because she works in the White House, you can get, oh, wait a second, what do we got here? Oh, no, that's just is that live? Wait a minute. Yeah, this looks like it might be live. Let me just check this real quick. Hold on. Yeah, this is live. So no, it's not live. It wasn't live. So my bad. It was a tape. Yeah, so they're burning time as well. All right, so let me go to Monica's page here. I want to show you this. This is what she had sent out in terms of the schedule. Hold on, let me go ahead and kill this information. Wrong thing. How did that happen? We'll put this on. Oh, I don't know what's going on with my computer right now. Okay, here we go. Another busy day here for POTUS. Per the White House schedule, 12:30, pretend he gets his intelligence briefing. Obviously, that's not going to be televised. And then 2:30, executive order will be signed. 3:30, he has a call scheduled with the president of El Salvador. And then 4:30, there's some sort of video messaging recording, not knowing who he's doing that for. So I don't know, because it is now 3:20, and I doubt he's gonna, well, he could, I don't think he would want to blow off the phone call with the El Salvadorian president, so we're going to have to play it by ear and see what happens. I've got a couple different things going on. Let me put on Marsha Blackburn. I like Marsha Blackburn. I think she's talking about Pete Hegseth right now. So let's listen into what Martha has to say.
Everything else. Another issue that we're focused on for the American people is getting the cost of living back under control. We all know that for the 4 years of the Biden administration, we saw record inflation, we saw reckless spending, and Tennesseans and indeed our citizens all across the country are still reeling from inflation. You know, Mr. President, to me, it is just so interesting. When people talk about the rate of inflation, they know it's not 2.9%, which the Biden administration was touting as they left office. If you go back and look at where prices were in January of 2021, when Joe Biden took office and inflation was at 1.4%, and then you look at what has happened month by month, the true rate of inflation and price escalation, that true rate of inflation is north of 20%. Indeed, I looked up what it is costing Tennessee families, and Mr. President, the numbers were astounding, because if you look at a basket of goods and services that a Tennessee family would buy in January 2021. So if they took that basket of goods and services, bought that same basket of goods and services, today their cost would be $1,060 more for the exact same basket of goods and services. Think about that. $1,060 per month. Now, maybe that's a house payment or the equivalent of a car payment. That is a lot of money. And this is why Americans are saying we want life to be affordable again. And it is why President Trump has already signed executive orders to roll back regulations. And it's why he is moving forward with DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, which will bring forward ideas of how we root out waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government. And it's why he has frozen federal hiring and done that hiring freeze, which is so essential to being able to cap what the federal employment roles are and get going on doging all of these agencies. Well, to support these efforts, I filed a series of bills called the DOGE Acts. And, you know, Mr. President, these are not things that are new. These are bills that I have been pushing for a long time because it is important that we hold government accountable for how they're spending the taxpayer money. And President Trump is pushing forward with these concepts. Another area where we are going to see attention in order to get the cost of living down is extending President Trump's tax cuts to ensure that the American people are going to have more money in their pocket at the end of the month. You know, Mr. President, there's a gentleman in Tennessee that I ran into one day earlier in the Biden administration, and I asked how he was doing. And he said, well, he had been fussing a little bit. What he was fussing about was the high price at the pump and the high price at the grocery store. And he said, you know, under President Trump, I had some money left at the end of the month. And under Joe Biden, I've got too much month left at the end of my money. People are tired of being broke. They are tired of it. So they're ready to move forward. Another area where they're wanting to see some action, and they're so pleased with the steps President Trump has taken, and that is protecting young women in sports. And it's amazing to me how the left has abandoned our high school and college female athletes. You know, we have over 3 million young women who participate in sports every single day. They're competing. Mr. President, you've got 2 beautiful daughters. They are competitive athletes. These girls work hard, and they deserve to be able to compete and win. But it is as if the Biden-Harris administration waged a war on these incredible young female athletes by destroying fair play and forcing them to compete against biological men. And the results are tragic. Young women who often dedicate their entire lives to becoming so proficient and skilled at a sport, they're missing out on scholarships.
Okay, so I don't have a televised version of it. I don't know if he's not going to do it on screen or not. But one of the executive orders that Trump has just put out, so we should be seeing things imminently. Breaking, literally a couple of minutes ago, Trump has declassified the JFK, the RFK, and the MLK files, Florida Voice has learned. I was sitting here hitting refresh over and over and over, wanted to see what was going to be happening, and it has indeed been declassified. So I know you've seen that GIF where all the old people are sitting at the casino hitting it. Right now, everybody is refreshing. Okay, it's been declassified. Where is it? I'm pretty sure if you guys want to start looking for it, it's coming. It is absolutely coming. Not sure he hasn't come out with any or there's no feed into the office, but breaking as of right now, Donald Trump has declassified all files, not some, all files pertaining to John F. Kennedy, R.F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr. If you are a praying person, now would be a good time to say a prayer. And if you're not a praying person, now would be a good time to start. All hell is going to break loose. If these files are actual files, and these files are not heavily redacted, if this is information we are actually going to be able to see individually and read for ourselves, and if we find out what a lot of people have held to be truthful for quite some time, as my dog is over here growling. He always growls. He's the nicest dog you'd ever want to meet, but he's got like an attitude. Got that Chihuahua attitude. But what I was saying, if we find out in these documents what we have thought, many of us have thought for quite some time, if it's confirmed that it was indeed our government that took these people out, all three of them, JFK, RFK, and MLK, it's game over. And why is it game over? Let me tell you why it's game over. We've been sitting here, thankfully you guys have been watching, and we've been waiting for him to come out. And the only thing that has come out thus far is that John Ratcliffe has been confirmed as the director of the CIA. Let that sink in. The director of the CIA was confirmed about half an hour ago, maybe 45 minutes ago. The CIA director now, after Trump is now declassifying all this stuff, is going to be the person, maybe even the person, who is going to be releasing these documents. So if we find out that our government was an active participant in eliminating those three prominent men, the CIA as you know it will be no more. This may be the Jenga moment. This might be the pull there that causes the entire thing to collapse on itself. And now that John Ratcliffe has been confirmed, and then you have to couple that with all the other stuff that's happened today. I'm going to take you back, about an hour and a half ago. Actually, let me take you back a day and a half ago. The 51 intelligence guys or ladies who were involved all got their security clearances revoked. Interesting. Then today, Mike Pompeo, another cog in the CIA, he had his Secret Service detail pulled. And now we got the declass. So when you look at it that way, it's like, oh, okay, that happened. And so now somebody better watch the airports in Washington, D.C. I mean, most of the people that were on that 51 names that tried to say that the laptop was Russian disinformation, most of those people were not going to be any way, shape, or form involved in JFK, RFK, or Martin Luther King, by virtue of the fact they're way too young. They're way too young. So in that essence, let's see, what was the latest one? The latest one was June of 68. Martin Luther King was killed in April of 68, and RFK was killed in June of 68. So 63, November of 63, April of 68, and June of 68. That would mean that is 54 years 57 years. None of these guys were there around. They were kids. There's no way they were connected. So who was? This is where it goes. Are we going to find out that George Bush's daddy was involved? Just to remember, Hillary not involved. She would have been a little girl. Bill Clinton not involved. Obama not involved. The only part that they would have been involved in is knowing what has happened and keeping it from the American people, which may also destroy the Democrat Party. Because if people find out that y'all knew all this, you knew this all this time, and you didn't say anything, so you're including George Bush, you never said anything? I'm refreshing and refreshing and refreshing like those old people in the casino to see if we see a document. I don't see a document anywhere because when that document hits, I can guarantee you there's going to be people freaking out, absolutely freaking out. All right. I wager that any truly incriminating evidence had already been redacted. I think what we would get are more questions than answers. Maybe. I can't. You said I wager. Okay, you're betting. I can't tell you. Dick Cheney is evil as well. Yeah, but I don't think he could have been involved. He would have been. Even Dick Cheney would have been too young. This would have been the senior Bush. Would have known. I remember my parents talking about saying the CIA. I was in 8th grade. Now, I'm 80 years old. This is old news to me, but it's coming out now. They all knew. Everybody probably knew. They all knew, and they need to lose their Secret Service protection. Wipe them all out. I agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. Scott Frick, Vivek is running. Okay, you're talking about Vivek. I was born in 67, but my parents talked about JFK a lot. Yep, me too. I remember. It wasn't JFK. Kennedy was shot in 63. JFK was shot in 63. John F. Kennedy, November 22nd, 1963. Martin Luther King, April 4th. And the only reason I remember that date so well is because it's in a U2 song. Shots rang out. You know the song from U2, so I know the date. April 4th, 1968. That was Martin Luther King. And with Bobby Kennedy, I just know that was June of 1968. Excuse me. Trump signed an executive order that directs his director of national intelligence, where was that? To put together a plan within 15 days for full release of the documents, the DNI. That was old. He just released it. It's out, or it's about to be out. So there's nothing else. There's no DNI. This is actually get it out there. I remember the day JFK was shot. Wow. That's crazy. So let's see here. Ashley just texted me and said, in our busy days here, now we've got Tulsi will be next Thursday at 10 a.m. I ain't getting no sleep. I know you ain't feeling bad for me, but I ain't getting no sleep. We're just gonna have to keep going. So let me put on this hearing so you guys don't have like dead air while I'm looking to see if this thing is going to be published somewhere. Why is there no sound here? Hold on. Okay. They don't have any sound. So that's coming from the Congress, and they don't have any sound. So I'm looking at a couple other... Wait a minute. Oh, that's a still image. Still waiting for a feed to show what's going on with Trump. Hold on, looking at different things here, trying to see what's going on. All right, guess I can't do that right now. I remember, Barry, I was born in 58. Remember my mom cried when JFK shot. Yeah, Yeah, it was my mom and dad the same way. RFK Jr., somebody says, is probably going through those files right now. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt that he's going through those files. Why is this not playing? This should be. Oh, this is why. Hold on. Nope, not getting any audio from these guys. No, audio check, audio check. Why is this not playing? Interesting. Not playing. Anyway, it was playing before, but now it's not playing. All right, 9 p.m. vote tomorrow. Yep, 9 p.m. vote tomorrow will be on Pete Hegseth. Still waiting to see what's going on. Let me check with this feed and see if we got anything going on. Because hold on.
This department.
Okay, that one's working, but there's nothing coming in there. 1 second. Trying to pull a different feed to see if we've got anything coming from the White House. Don't see anything coming, even though they promised. Maybe that was the executive order. If that was the executive order, let me just check this real quick, because I got to check my sound anyway. Let's put this on.
Here, while Brooke started her opening statements, and I said, this is what the American people like. People like her. She's very just real. And that's why President Trump resonates. That's why so many people that President Trump is working with, and yourself, I mean, being an ambassador to Denmark in the first administration, and also going on the campaign trail with the team there, it's real people. That's what people want to see, isn't it?
It is. People really are craving authenticity. They don't want to see these produced people that are completely fake and phony, and you don't really get what you think you're getting. Just look at how many Americans voted for Joe Biden because they thought, oh, this will be, he says he's going to be the president for all Americans. He's going to work across the aisle. He didn't. He took Bernie Sanders' policies and implemented Bernie Sanders.
Renewable energy is driving up energy costs for Americans. Wrong again. Solar and wind have for some time been the least expensive forms of energy that there are. Wind is the bottom blue line. Solar panels is the bottom yellow line. They have been the cheapest since 2015, or if you go back further, 2013. We've had a solid decade of wind and solar being the least expensive forms of energy for the American public, but big oil doesn't care. They just want to sell their dirty product. What does actually drive up energy costs for Americans? The greed of big oil. After the Russian invasion of Ukraine, OPEC, the international cartel, jacked up prices, and U.S. oil producers rode along to epic profits off of those events. You just have to look at their sworn financial statements filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission about what profits they earned. They earned the biggest profits in the history of the world. In a nutshell, they gouged. Electricity bills also rose when the price of natural gas spiked after that Russian invasion. Climate change means Americans are spending more to cool their homes because it's hotter than it's ever been.
We got some movement here at the White House. We have movement at the White House. Let's see. Why is this not? Okay, here we go.
Do you want to? Yeah, Mr. President, this is an executive order on crypto. We're going to be. Oh, sorry, we're doing graphics. Sorry, this is an executive order on AI. We're basically announcing the administration's policy to make America the world capital in artificial intelligence and to dominate and to lead the world in AI.
Do you want to say your name, your full name?
David
and
Sachs,
serial?
AI and Crypto Czar.
David is one of the greatest in the world at AI. Most respected, probably, there is. So that should take us to the forefront, right?
Absolutely. We got to win.
Okay. Thank you. And this, David, is?
Yeah, this is the crypto EO. We're going to be forming an internal working group to make to make America the world capital in crypto under your leadership.
Which is really going up, right?
Absolutely.
All right, David, that's for you.
Thanks, sir.
You find them exciting? They might not be exciting, but they're going to make a lot of money for the country.
Thank you, sir.
And so is David. You have to check him out. There's nobody like this guy. They said, how did you get David Sachs? How did you do that? And he's doing it for the country more than anything else. So we appreciate it, David. Thank you very much.
This is an executive order establishing a presidential commission, an advisory commission on science and technology.
Good. Do you want to explain that a little bit?
The basic idea is to get together top people from government, the private sector, technology industry, as well as educational institutions, to make sure that America maintains its leadership position with respect to science and technology development in the years ahead.
Good. That's great.
Next, sir, we have a presidential memorandum encouraging departments and agencies in your government, including the Department of the Interior, to promote federal recognition of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina.
I love the Lumbee tribe. So this is their first big step, right?
This would be a huge step for them, sir.
Yeah, they were with me all the way. They were great. North Carolina, Lumbee tribe. Okay, you'll send them a copy of that?
Yes, sir.
They were great. Okay?
And if you'd like, I could get them that pen, sir, as well.
Yeah, let's do that.
Next, we have a set of pardons for peaceful pro-life protesters who were prosecuted by the Biden administration for exercising their First Amendment rights.
You know how many?
I believe it's 23, sir.
23 people were prosecuted. They should not have been prosecuted. Many of them are elderly people. They should not have been prosecuted. This is a great honor to sign this. They'll be very happy. So they're all in prison now?
Some are out of custody.
It's ridiculous. Okay?
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades. And everything will be revealed. Okay? Give that to RFK Jr.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Okay, thank you very much.
Mr. President, a U.S. judge temporarily blocks the birthright citizenship order. Do you have any reaction?
No, obviously we'll appeal it. They put it before a certain judge in Seattle, I guess, right? And there's no surprises with that judge.
Mr. President, Senators Collins and Murkowski have now said they will vote against Pete Hegseth. Are you worried about his confirmation and your reaction?
And no surprises there. It's too bad. It's just the way the way it is, too bad.
And when would you adjourn Congress to make recess appointments, Mr. President?
Well, I'd take a look at that. I'd listen to John Thune. He's doing a fantastic job. We're moving along. The Democrats are trying to delay government, as they always do. They can't help themselves. Even John Ratcliffe, who's very, very strong, very popular, and liked by the Democrats. I guess he gets a lot of Democrat votes. That's taking a long time, and it shouldn't be taking a long time. They're maxing everything out so they can delay everything as much as possible.
Does Senator Thune support an effort to use recess appointments if you choose to do that?
I'd be willing to use recess appointments. It's up to John, and we'll see. John Thune's a great guy, great senator, and knows his stuff inside out and backwards, but I would use recess appointments if he wants to do that. Absolutely. The Democrats are just delaying. They always delay.
Mr. President, you spoke with the Saudi Crown Prince yesterday.
Who?
The Saudi Crown Prince. How was the call?
Right.
They said $600 billion they can invest.
600. I'll ask him for $1 trillion.
You said you're going to ask for $1 trillion. Will Saudi Arabia be the first foreign country you will visit since they invest in that much?
Well, if they do that, I would. Yeah, I would be glad to do that. I did it. As you know, 4 years ago, we did $450 billion, meaning the money all goes to American companies, and they purchase jets and they purchase computers and everything else. And we did $450 billion, and I guess we're at 650. I'll see if I can talk him into it.
I don't believe again. You showed great confidence in Steve Witkoff. Why you said that you doubt that the ceasefire in Gaza will hold, since you appraised his
Well, no, I think he's
efforts?
great, but it's a very tricky place. It's very tricky. We'll see. And if something does happen, they will not be happy.
So follow up on that one. In terms of Steve Witkoff, are you going to put him in charge of Iran's strategy, and do you want him talking directly with the Iranians?
No, but he's certainly somebody I would use. He's done a fantastic job. He's a great negotiator. He's a very good person, a very popular person. Gets along with people. I have great negotiators. They have no personality whatsoever, and then I have some that do. Steve has a wonderful way about him, and people like him, and even in this case, both sides like him. And he was able to make a deal. That deal would have never been made without Steve. The Biden people couldn't make the deal. They were working on it for a year and a half. They couldn't make a deal. We got it done prior to the inauguration. We said it has to be before the inauguration. The deal should hold, but if it doesn't hold, there'll be a lot of problems.
Related to your AI, EO, just hours after you made that big Stargate announcement, Elon Musk tweeted that they don't actually have the money. Is that true?
I don't know if they do, but they're putting up the money. The government's not putting up anything. They're putting up money. They're very rich people, so I hope they do. And Elon doesn't like one of those people, so.
Are you worried that AI is going to replace many American jobs? Does that worry you?
No, it's going to create tremendous numbers of jobs. It's going to also create a lot of benefits medically for cancer research and other things. It's going to have a huge positive impact. And, we want to be ahead of China. We're right now way ahead of China. David Sachs is one of the all-time experts. That people are amazed that you just met him. I don't know if he's still here. There he is. But one of the most respected people in that world. It's a world. It's a whole different world. And we're ahead of China now because of what I'm doing. And I think it's going to be very successful.
And so, please, you just asked the Davos Forum again that NATO countries should spend 5% of GDP on defense.
Yeah.
The United States don't spend 5%.
Well,
Do you think it should also apply to the United States?
We're protecting them, They're not protecting us. We're protecting them. So I don't think we should be spending. I'm not sure we should be spending anything, but we should certainly be helping them. But they should up their 2% to 5%. Yeah.
Mr. President, you said earlier during your speech at Davos that you would like to see interest rates come down. How much would you like to see them come down?
A
and
lot.
will you talk
I'd
with
like to see them come down a lot, and oil prices will come down. And when oil prices come down, everything's going to be cheaper for the American people and actually for the world, but for the American people. So I'd like to see oil prices come down. And when the energy comes down, that's going to knock out a lot of the inflation that's going to automatically bring the interest rates down.
Are you worried that
Mr. President, you said that you would demand.
Are you worried that there's too much going on at once if you're trying to bring interest rates down, get the economy back going?
No, it just works that way. I mean, it's just economically works that way. When the oil comes down, it'll bring down prices, then you won't have inflation, and then the interest rates will come down.
You said that you would demand that the interest rates come down.
Well, I would.
Do you expect
I
the
would put
Fed?
in a strong statement.
Do you expect the Fed to listen to you?
Yeah,
Are you going to talk to Powell about this and bringing the rates down?
at the right time, I would.
Sir, do you plan to meet with any of the people you pardoned that were participated in the January 6, 2021 attack? Do you plan to meet with any of them or meet with them at the White House?
I don't know. I'm sure that they probably would like to. I did them something important, but what they did is they were protesting a crooked election. You know, I mean, people understand that also, and they were treated very badly. Nobody's been treated like that, so I'd be open to it, certainly. I don't know of anything like that, but I think they're going to meet, in some of the congressmen, women, want to meet. But I'd certainly be open to it.
Have you spoken to them since you issued the pardons?
I haven't spoken to any of them yet, but I know they're very happy.
Mr. President,
I gave them their life back. Their life was taken away from them unnecessarily and unfairly. I gave them their life back, so I can imagine they probably would like to.
Mr. President, what did you mean when you said that Biden took bad advice and not pardoning himself yesterday?
Well, he did. I think he did, because he pardoned all these people that are crooked as hell. Look, the congressmen, they're crooked. What they did is they destroyed evidence. When you destroy evidence, especially criminally like that, they did it criminally. And the reason they destroyed the evidence is because it proved that I was right. They didn't destroy evidence for no reason. They destroyed it because they found many documents saying that I offered 10,000 soldiers. If they had 500 soldiers or National Guard, there would have been no problem. If they had 200, that would have been. I offered 10,000 if they needed them. There would have been no problem. That's been now totally disproven. And it's also been disproven by Nancy Pelosi's daughter, who has her on tape saying it was her fault, that she has full responsibility for this. And they have all that stuff. They destroyed everything. And they go through a year and a half, 2 years of nonsense. They come up with tremendous evidence, and they destroyed evidence. And Schiff knew about it. That's why he's on there. He knew all about the destruction of evidence. A lot of people said he's the one that got him to do it. And he's a crooked guy, totally crooked politician. And so he's pardoned, and some other people are pardoned. And these are crooked politicians, every one of them. Benny Johnson, what he did is incredible. I mean, he was the leader of the committee, and he did it. Cheney, crying Adam Kinzinger, all of them. They destroyed evidence and deleted everything. There's nothing. There's no evidence now. They're crooked politicians, and they should be punished. That's even in a civil trial, you go to jail for a thing like that. They destroyed every document, from what I understand, every document, because it proved that I was totally innocent.
Do you plan to send up to 10,000 troops to the southern border, sir?
Yeah. Oh, southern border?
Yes, the
border. When you say southern border, when I said 10,000 troops, I was referring to the capital.
Oh, I see. And when do you plan to do that?
10,000 troops for the capital before January 6th.
And as for the 1,500 at the southern border, sir, to clarify, what exactly do you want them to be doing right now?
Making sure that the border is safe and secure, and that criminals don't come into our country.
Mr. President, do you think that sanctions on Russia will force President Putin to negotiate?
I don't know, but I think he should make a deal.
Mr. President, does it bother you that Elon Musk criticized a deal that you made publicly, that he said that he tweeted that?
No, it doesn't. He hates one of the people in the deal.
Have you spoken to him since then?
No, I've spoken to Elon, but I've spoken to all of them, actually. No, the people in the deal are very, very smart people. But Elon, one of the people he happens to hate, but I have certain hatreds of people, too.
Sir, Sir,
Mr.
on China, what do you think Xi Jinping can do on the Ukraine-Russia war?
Which one?
The Ukraine-Russia war. What can Xi Jinping do about that?
China?
Yeah.
They have a lot of power over Russia. They supply energy to Russia. And Russia supplies energy to them. They supply other things to it's really a very big trade. It's a very big trading partner. But Russia supplies a lot of energy to China. China pays them a lot of money for that. And I think they have a lot of power over Russia. So I think Russia should want to make a deal. Maybe they want to make a deal. I think from what I hear, Putin would like to see me, and we'll meet as soon as we can. I'd meet immediately. Every day we don't meet, soldiers are being killed in a battlefield. And that battlefield is like no battlefield since World War II.
You said that Ukraine wants
and
to...
I have pictures that you don't want to see. Soldiers are being killed on a daily basis at numbers that we haven't seen in decades. And it'd be nice to end that war. It's a ridiculous war.
You said that Ukraine's ready to make a deal. Did President Zelensky tell you that personally?
Yeah, sure. He's ready to negotiate a deal. He'd like to stop. He's somebody that lost a lot of soldiers, and so did Russia. Lost a lot. Russia lost more soldiers. They lost 800,000 soldiers. Would you say that's a lot? I'd say it's a lot.
You said that you wanted to make Dr. King's dream a reality. What's your response to his children and civil rights leaders who say that your DEI orders are a contradiction of his dream and could further drive racial disparities?
Well, I haven't heard that.
Mr. President, you put the Houthis back on the terror list. How do you see the war in Yemen end?
Well, we'll see what happens, but they can't shoot down our ships, the Houthis.
Yes.
And you can't shoot down our ships, or any ships, and that's what they've been doing. So they're on the terror list. That's not good for them.
So why did you revoke security protections for former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Brian Hunt?
Well, the same reason I did. When you have protection, you can't have it for the rest of your life. Do you want to have a large detail of people guarding people for the rest of their lives? I mean, there's risks to everything.
So would you support striking Iran's nuclear facilities?
Say it.
Would you support Israel, for example, striking Iran's nuclear facilities?
Well, I'm
or
not
do you
going to
believe
answer
in
that.
diplomacy?
Obviously, I'm not going to answer that question. We'll have to see. I'm going to be meeting with various people over the next couple of days, and we'll see. But hopefully that can be worked out without having to worry about it. It would be nice. It would really be nice if that could be worked out without having to go that further step.
And who are you going to meet with?
Well, I'd rather not say that, but very high-level people. But hopefully that can be worked out. Look, Iran hopefully will make a deal, and if they don't make a deal, I guess that's okay too.
And Mr. President, just to follow up, you said you think the Fed should listen to you. Can you elaborate on why you think it should?
With regard to interest rates?
Correct, yes.
Because I think I know interest rates much better than they do. And I think I know it certainly much better than the one who's primarily in charge of making that decision. But no, I'm guided by them very much. But if I disagree, I will let it be known.
So your tariffs plans for China and Mexico are much tougher. The ones for Canada and Mexico are much tougher than the one for China. Why is it softer for China?
Well, China's already paying a lot of tariffs because of me. And when you add them up, I would say, they're paying a lot. They paid hundreds of billions of dollars. They never paid 10 cents until I came along. When I came along, they've paid hundreds of billions of dollars. Never paid anything. And so they've already started at a higher base.
Is February 1st the date for Chinese tariffs as well, sir? February 1, or was that just Mexico and Canada?
It's Mexico and Canada, but we're talking about China too. Look, China's sending us tremendous amounts of bad drugs, fentanyl, really bad stuff. Most of it comes through Mexico. And we're losing, I think, 300,000 lives a year because of that. People say 150, 100, 120. I think 300,000 lives a year. Those are old numbers. The lower number is a low number. And we can't have that. They've got to stop sending it. I had a deal with President Xi, but it was a deal that wasn't followed up by Biden, of course, where they were going to issue the death penalty to people that make fentanyl, and that would have stopped it. But we'll have to stop it with tariffs. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, guys. Hey, press, let's go. Thanks, guys. Nope, guys, let's go. Thank you, guys.
Okay. I had texted SB and Ashley. I'm like, hey, can somebody pinch me? This is the third day. Day 3. I can't even imagine where we're going to be in a month. It's amazing. Boom, boom, boom. It just keeps happening. The news keeps flowing. We're going to go over these executive orders, but before we do that, want to go to the big one, which is the actual, and that was live. That wasn't taped. That was live. The actual, excuse me, the actual signing of the executive order releasing the files on JFK, RFK, and Martin Luther King. What's interesting is Monica, who's doing a great job up at the White House, she posted this. President Trump signs an executive order to fully release documents on the assassinations of President Kennedy, Senator Kennedy, and Reverend, excuse me, Dr. Martin Luther King. Their families and the American people deserve transparency and truth. His team now will have 45 days to put together a plan to release the archives. So, don't bother hitting refresh. There's nothing being posted anywhere today. So today was the declass, which tells people release the files. Now they've got 45 days, and if I'm reading this correct, not 45 days to release the documents, 45 days to put together a plan to release the documents. So it looks like we're going to be in for somewhat of a wait here. This isn't coming out right away. Here's the executive order, an actual picture of it, declassification of records concerning the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. By the authority vested in me as a president, by the Constitution and the laws of the United States, it is hereby ordered. And now he's going to release it. So, here's a paragraph. The President John F. Kennedy Assassination Records Collection Act of 1992 required all records related to the assassination of President Kennedy to be publicly disclosed in full by October 26, 2017, unless the President certifies that continued postponement is made necessary by an identifiable harm to military, defense, intelligence operations, etc. Not sure why they delayed it. This is about to be, as I'm looking at X right now, the biggest story out there is that this thing is going to be released. It is going to be coming. Anna Paulina Luna, she issued a statement on it. She says, the truth belongs to the people, and we won't rest until they have it. Representative Luna's statement on the release of the JFK files, our government is led by corrupt bureaucrats, has hidden this information from the American people for far too long. Americans deserve to know the truth, whether it makes the government look good or not. As part of the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, I will want to continue to deliver transparency to Americans. The truth belongs to the people, and we won't rest until they have it. Thank you, President Trump, for delivering on your promise to release the JFK files to the American people. This is a bombshell. Like I said, it ain't going to go off for another 45, 90 days probably, but, excuse me. But this is absolutely stunning that we've gotten to this point. It's going to be huge. So let's go back and look at the various orders that he signed today. First one, and I know, well, actually the first two, I know are problematic with people who watch my videos. But as I said this morning, you got to get with it. First one, AI. He wants to have the United States as the greatest provider of AI, technologically far advanced than other countries. It's happening. He just signed an executive order. He wants to beat China. It's coming. And it's interesting, I'm going to see if Ashley can get a hold of David Sachs. He's saying that AI will actually create jobs, which is very interesting. But it's coming. It's happening. There's no more, I don't trust AI. There's no more, I think it's bad. It's coming. It's already here, actually. It's just going to get bigger. The second one is he said he wants to be the world leader in crypto. Your president, the person you voted for, has now said, we are going to win both of these races. We are going to be the leader in crypto, and we are going to be the leader in AI. I know that is bothersome to a lot of people who watch me here. To the world, it's not as bothersome. So I'm just trying to give you guys like a little pep talk and say, get ready. You can lament, you can whine, you can say you don't want to have anything to do with it. You're not going to have a choice. Moving forward, how long it becomes household name or whatever he's going to do with it, I don't know if it's a year from now. I don't know if it's 2 years from now. I don't know if it's 6 months from now. But it's coming. He signed an executive order, handed it to David Sachs and said, go run with it. I want to be the world leader in crypto. I want to be the world leader in AI. This is what you voted for. You can't be a little bit of a voter. You're all in. This man is in it to win it. You've heard that statement before. He's not doing it so that we can compete with other countries. He's doing it so we can beat other countries. And as a Trump supporter, at this point, you have really no choice. It's a matter of get on the bus or step off the bus. But you can't be a little Trump. You can't be, there's no such thing. It's like being a little bit pregnant. You can't be a little bit pregnant. You can't be a little bit MAGA. If you are MAGA, you got to get behind all this stuff. Find a way, pray about it, understand, protect yourself. The biggest thing is learn. The biggest thing is educate yourself. If I were you and I was concerned about AI and or crypto, now would be the time where I would start consuming everything I can and to understand about crypto and AI. Your edification doesn't cost you anything. Your edification isn't a waste of time. Instead of saying, I don't trust it, I don't like it, it's the mark of the beast, and all these things, start reading up about it. Start understanding. Open yourself up a little crypto account with 20 to 25 bucks. Understand what's about to happen. I know it's hard. Something new is always going to be very hard. But, at one point, we didn't have these. At one point, we were stuck within 6 or 8 feet of a wall outlet. And you're stretching with the coiled cord going, yeah, I'm talking to you right now on this thing called a telephone. People before that used to have party lines. One of Robin's favorite old movies is that, I think it's with Doris Day, and it was Party Line. Remember that? Some of you guys might be old enough to remember party lines. So we went from party lines to dial phones, because remember the other ones where they were around the wall and there'd be a little big hole here like, hey Fred, how's it going? Yeah. And then we went, oh, now we can dial and talk. Yeah. Then we went to the push button phone. Oh, that was amazing. We could actually just push buttons. Oh, that's so cool. We can now push buttons. And now we're walking around with a phone with no wires. Technology progressed. And now we walk around with a studio here. Oh, it's got a camera, it's got a video camera, and you can make phone calls? Yeah, and text. What the hell's a text? Oh, you can text people? Mm-hmm. Oh, you can watch videos? Never heard of it before. Amazing. But now you can't live without it. Remember when you owned your business or worked in a business, you used to have this thing called a fax machine? Fax machine. We couldn't do business without it in the real estate business. There was no way to get contracts from one place to the other without sticking in these 30, 40-page documents or more, especially if it's a mortgage document. A mortgage document might be 100 pages. And you feed it into a fax machine. You remember that? I bet you don't have a fax machine at home anymore. Nope. Now you have email. So now we're moving into AI. Now we're moving into crypto. Things have changed. Doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. I remember my dad didn't like the idea of using a fax machine. Hey, I'm sticking it in here. I don't know where it goes. Who's going to see it? Dad, it just gets transferred through the phone lines, and now to someone else's phone line, there's a decoder and prints it out. I don't know about that, but you had to use it. You didn't have a choice. Well, actually, you had a choice. You could not do business. You could send things by, carrier pigeon. New technologies. I keep going back to that scene in the movie Other People's Money with Danny DeVito. I did part of the speech for you yesterday when I said, what you just heard was a prayer for the dead. Where I come from, you always say amen after you hear a prayer. Well, in that same speech, he goes, the reason they're dead is because of, if you guys have seen the movie, go ahead and chat it, functional obsolescence, new technologies, fiber optics. You're dead, you just don't know it yet. He actually says that in the movie. He goes, I bet you the guy who made the best damn buggy whip was the last buggy whip maker alive. And I'm pretty sure none of you have run or needed a buggy whip. And obviously that movie struck me, 30 years ago when I began looking really deep in business. And I'm like, wow, I don't know who wrote this movie. That's a fantastic line. I bet you the best damn buggy whip maker was the last one in business. Because everybody else had passed him by, but he didn't pass by because he was the best damn buggy whip maker in business. Until all of a sudden, nobody's buying any buggy whips. All right, so you want to get on crypto and you want to get on the AI trade. Next thing he did was he did an executive order for the Technology and Science Commission, which kind of ties in to AI and crypto, because you can't have the science and technology. You can't have the AI and the crypto without the science and technology. So, makes sense. This went through me. I'm going to have to do my own research on this. What was the prominence and need for recognizing the Lumbee tribe? I don't even know what a Lumbee tribe is, but there's a tribe in North Carolina called the Lumbee tribe that they just recognized with an executive order. What is it with the Lumbee tribe that we need to know? So if you guys know, tell me. If not, tomorrow, what I'm going to be doing is going to look up what the heck the Lumbee tribe is up in North Carolina. What part of North Carolina? Do they have a reservation? What kind of land do they own? What's going on that land? Is there oil? Are there minerals? Will there be a casino? What's going on with the Lumbee tribe? That's something we all should be looking up, because that came out of nowhere. The next one was all the pro-lifers that Biden and Merrick Garland threw in jail. So it's going to make their heads explode again in the news today. Because all those people, that 28 or 30 people who've been put in jail because of their faith, their anti-abortion stance, they got thrown in jail. One lady got thrown in jail. I think the lady was like 72 years old. They actually prosecuted somebody. They're all pardoned. Of course, you know about the JFK files. Something else that happened during the conversation, two things. If you notice the snicker that came out when someone asked him about recess appointments, and he kind of snickered, and he was talking about John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader. And he kind of smiled. He actually turned his head when he started talking about it, because it's obvious. And he acknowledged it. Yeah, I'm open to it. So when John Thune was on the Senate floor yesterday, and he said one way or another, these confirmations are happening. He wasn't using a crystal ball. He was stating a fact. They are going to move these nominations forward. There won't be anybody else that's going to have to do the Matt Gaetz walk. These are all happening. You don't like it? Too flippin' bad. Too flippin' bad. That's what's going to happen one way or the other. And Trump, he wasn't playing poker. He was telegraphing. Yeah, I'm open to it. And the other statement I found interesting, and we'll talk about, take some of your comments. I found this very interesting. Is a lady in the press, woman, in that audience, and it made me chuckle when she said, and I quote, I wrote it down, "Do you think there's too much going on?" And I'm like, oh my God. You're so used to doing nothing. You've spent the last 4 years, oh, there's a lid. Oh, well, let's go home. Let's head downtown and we can make happy hour in the next, I don't know, couple minutes. They're so used to doing nothing that they actually asked Donald Trump, you think there's too much going on? Imagine it, on his third day in office. Third day. Like I said, pinch myself because I'm like, how long has he been president? He's been president for 3 days. 3 days. Actually, it's not even a full third day. 2.5 days, whatever you want to call it. And you already have the press going, are you doing too much? Can you slow your ass down? What are we supposed to do? We can't fight you on all these fronts. The guy you replaced was a walking corpse. And we'd never see him. Now Trump's out there every single day. I mean, literally every single day. And if you notice, I think they thought there was going to be a little signing party, and then he was going to say thank you, good night. He's like, all right, what you got? You. It just takes questions. I'm going to have to cue in to see if he gives his people a tell. There's this prompt that he tells them I've had enough. Because other than that, he's like, you, and you. They don't even have enough questions written down. They're not used to being able to do this. They haven't trained. Remember what I told you a couple days ago? You have to train to be a winner. Winning takes getting used to. Today, you saw it firsthand.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
You're watching it. If the reporters in that gaggle can't take it, and you think you're doing too much, just remember, you can rewind it. You can hear her question. You think you're doing too much? For me? Oh, you ain't even seeing nothing, lady. You got a whole lot more coming. I'm just getting warmed up. I remember when I used to cover Colorado football with Deion Sanders, and there was a line he used to say. He goes, "Y'all messed up, and I'm just getting comfortable. I'm getting comfortable now," and that's what's happening with Trump. You guys have been used to doing nothing and having Kamala and Joe run away from you and have Karine Jean-Pierre blow smoke up. You know who's got the easiest job? She's like the Maytag repairman. Caroline Leavitt has the easiest job in the world. Have you seen her much? No. She is the press secretary, and she hasn't even had to go up on a podium once. Not once. Now, we know it's coming. She's going to be doing her press conferences, but she must be sitting back going, hey, man, this is a great job. This dude's doing it himself. He's doing it, and it's not ending. So tomorrow, I think we're going to get a chance to talk to Monica Page. He's going to do a little gaggle before he gets on the plane or on the plane, whatever. Then he's going to go to North Carolina, which I'm sure the television cameras will be following him around, and he's going to be talking there. Then he's going to leave there, and he's going to head out to California. I think he's making a stop in Nevada on the way. But she won't be doing a presser tomorrow probably because he's going to be out there. So there is so much going on. Hearings, confirmations, executive orders, you name it. So much is happening, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's so funny to watch the media. They can't keep up with it. And let me just tell you, it's not just the reporters there. I've got 1, 2, 3 monitors open. And I'm watching different things of C-SPAN and what the senators are doing, and different news, and they're like, okay, what do we cover now? I mean, literally, they're saying that on camera. All right, so do we got them? Are we going to cut this? They don't know what's going to happen. He has everybody spinning, including me, because we don't know what's coming next. And I think he loves that. I mean, who knows? It's 4:22. We may get some notification. Hey, listen, he's after dinner, he's going to go talk to people again. He doesn't stop, and he does it impromptu. There was nothing on his schedule. Nothing. I check it every morning. There was nothing that said he was going to do a press conference today. Nope. Nobody knew. And like Monica told you yesterday in the video, you just got to, the press literally right now are prestatorial firefighters. They have to stand around, and it's 12 degrees out there, and they're in their little tents, and they get a notice, oh, he's going on, and they got to go running. You're absolutely right, Marie. He's keeping these people running. California is a risky trip. Yep, add in the 200, it's called old age. Oh my God. Oh, here's some information. Okay, the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina is a state-recognized tribe in the North Carolina. The tribe represents the Lumbee people. They do not hold federal recognition as a Native American tribe. They do now. Looks like Wikipedia, whoever, going to have to update that. They do now. So what we need to do as a group is to dig in and find out what's so important about the Lumbee tribe. Where is their area in North Carolina? There's something there. I'm telling you, once you start digging, you're going to find out it's adjacent to something. It's on something. There's a reason why it had to go in executive orders that were so important, like AI, crypto, and JFK assassination files. Oh, by the way, here we're gonna recognize this Native American reservation or tribe. We got to find that out. Military is important, and AI, medical. Could we let China take it over? It would be bad. Yeah, we're going to be learning that. Barry asked Robert Malone or Dr. Stillwater to come on your show. All right, so if you guys have someone you'd like to see on this show, go ahead and email Ashley and let her know. Hey, listen, we'd love to hear from so-and-so. And as you can see, Ashley will reach out to some of these people. Some of them are very, very busy, but she'll reach out to them and get them on here. Somebody just wrote, where'd that go? He said, I thought Trump was racist. Somebody says, I'll bet it's lithium. I don't know. There's a reason. There's a reason why that tribe has now been recognized. There's gold in North Carolina. Not really sure, but we'll find out. President Trump is keeping the press on their toes in Robeson County. Is there a vote date for Kristi Noem yet? Okay, good question. Great question. John Thune has said that everybody in the pipeline up till now, except for Pam Bondi, will be confirmed by Sunday night. So she is going to be up probably tomorrow being Friday, and where they're going to have to, discuss her coming out of cloture. And then, again, you get that 30-hour thing. So tomorrow at 9 p.m., they'll be voting on Pete Hegseth. I would bet and venture to say it, 9 p.m., on Saturday, they'll be voting on Kristi Noem. So the Democrats are playing games, constantly playing games, and we'll see what happens. People are saying it's lithium. Yeah, he gave the pen he gave one to David Sachs, and I saw that he did say one of the other ones should go to the Lumbee tribe. Ashley's email address. Hey, can you post that email address so people can go and put some stuff out there? Dan Bongino is adamant that Secret Service needs to just protect the VP and Prez with family, not all these other people, and not handling money laundering. He says IRS needs. So maybe that's why they're pulling all these Secret Service details off of these other people. I'm waiting for him to say, pull it off of Fauci. Don't give him anything. Nothing. North Carolina is known for the lithium. I did not know that. Let's see here. Just a prediction. The RFK and Tulsi hearings may be closer to Pete Hegseth since they are ex-Democrats. So Ashley had texted me, and she said Tulsi's hearing, we haven't heard about RFK Jr.'s, but she said Tulsi's hearing is next week on the 20. Let me see if I can find that again. Next Thursday at 10 a.m. So that'd be the 30th at 10 a.m. So that's going to be next Thursday. Ain't stopping Trump now. He's definitely on the move. Let's see here. Why not Pam Bondi? I don't know. There was something where they kicked it to next week. So we will see what they're doing by a big day tomorrow. Yep, a big day tomorrow, 9 p.m. So if he got his CIA guy. Ratcliffe is in. Rubio is in. Hegseth should be in tomorrow. So we'd have the Secretary of Defense, the CIA Director, and the Secretary of State done, hopefully tomorrow. There was video of what? Somebody said there was video. What are you talking about? I said Benny has a video. Video of what? I'm not really sure. Why was Pompeii's Secret Service detail canceled? Well, we don't know, but more than likely he is either A, someone that Trump finds to be a foe, not trustworthy, or B, we're going to bring the assets back. We need them in more high-profile places. It's do they have a time limit on appointees? There's a very strict procedural basis in terms of how they have to go. You go to committee. So when we televised the hearings, who they were talking to at that point was the actual committee. Once you have enough votes and you pass out of committee, then if you're really going to get in, they just do a roll call vote. That was why Rubio was done so quickly. It was 99-0. Nobody voted against him. So they didn't have to go to the Senate floor. And they didn't have to go to cloture. So today, they've been holding up Pete Hegseth. It had to go to cloture, which says enough of the talk. That's what that means. And now it's going to go to a vote, but then it has to wait 30 hours once they have taken it out of debate. So 30 hours would be 9 p.m. tomorrow. Yes, he did say this in the press conference. He said there's no reason to have protection forever. Yeah. Ashley, do you know about the Lumbee Indian tribe? I don't know. I don't know who they are. Very rich in minerals in Carolina. We'll have to look it up on a map and we'll see it. Let's see. You go to the floor for a vote. You go to the floor for the vote. 30 hours, so 9 o'clock tomorrow. It would be the entirety of the House would be voting. So John Thune said, "You're not going home. Cancel your plans. We'll be here all weekend." And if they get to the point, then they'll go ahead and do the recess. Cash, I believe, is next week as well. I believe his is on the 28th. So next week is going to be slamming. Absolutely slamming. What a 3-day period. Pretty incredible. All right, so let's go ahead and let me move this out of here and look at some super chats. Let me see if Monica has posted anything else. Any other updates from our White House connection? Nope, everyone. I mean, and what's big also is that those people, the pro-lifers who are in jail, they get to get out. RFK Jr. is the top trend right now, so he's probably the person that's really gonna want to dig into this stuff if he hasn't seen it already, and he probably hasn't seen it. I know some of you thought he had seen it, but he wouldn't have had that kind of access unless someone in the family or something gave him access to that. But I'm not really sure. So a lot more. I'm going to be digging and digging and digging. What's this say? Oh, just crazy stuff going on. Crazy stuff. All right, so let me look at super chats. Before I get to super chats, again, since we not gonna know a schedule from time to time, and I will post just about immediately when be like an hour before I go live. Make sure you go to fanfareshop.org/group. You can join our 13,000 plus fellow patriots. And if I have time tonight to go live, because I've got to go meet a vendor out here, Go to fanfareshop.org and you can enter to win a hoodie on that site. All right, so let me look here. Mama Mima. Yikes, spell check changed Lumbee to lumber. Lumbee. Okay, so it's Lumbee, Lumbee tribe. Lumbee tribe has never been federally recognized, but now they have. I come from Connecticut, and my grandmother and some relatives were in an Indian or Native American tribe back, and they tried to get federal designation because, of course, the chief and the people who were still around, they wanted to get a casino, but could never get it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be Big Chief Wampum having up in Connecticut. I'm worried about, okay, where is that? Why is AI and crypto bothersome to other people here? Would you rather it be China? I'm sure in the chat people will tell you why it's bothersome, but the main reason is it's an unknown. That's the main reason. It's not something people are used to. People are used to hard currency, having a dollar bill and taking it to the store. People are used to, well, the AI. They don't realize that they've gotten used to AI. Almost everything you do, excuse me, to some extent has some AI involved in it. But I'm not really sure. I am worried about my security financially. With crypto, I can't help it. I know I'm not alone. True. I've had that same thing said to me about people about real estate. I don't want to do rental property because if something happens and the tenants do this or the tenants do that, it scares people. It's just not for them. Like I've said, when I've had different investors, the first thing I say to investors, what do you want to be involved in? What do you not want to be involved in? And somebody will say, I only want to be involved in single family houses. Don't want any tenants. Don't want to deal with them. Okay. Then, we'd find something. One guy says, I only want to buy trailer parks. I love trailer parks. Love trailer parks anywhere in the country. I'll buy a trailer park. I'm like, trailer parks? Yeah, you own the land and you have tenants, but they don't have any right to the property. They can come park for a couple days or a week or so, and I'm like, okay. And he goes, there's no maintenance. You got to cut the grass. So it all depends on the person and what they are comfortable with. Comfort. But I'm saying right now we got to see people get comfortable with AI and crypto. Nancy says again, does this mean buying crypto right now is a smart move? Will the price go up? I am not a financial advisor, nor will I pretend to be a financial advisor. I would never say, you got to do this, because yes, it can fluctuate and go up and down. I work with Lear Capital, and we, as you guys know, I advise to basically put gold and silver in your portfolio, because I use gold and silver as a hedge. Unlike crypto, if something happens, I have this. This is a silver 1 ounce, and this is forget how big of gold this is. So if anything ever happened, I can actually take this someplace and sell these. I can actually, convert them into cash if needed. If not, they sit here and they sit in the safe, and it's just a hedge. Crypto, I understand what your concern is. There's nothing there. It's air. So again, it's comfortability. Phoenix rise to Africa, the motherland. Okay. Raven Kirkendall, can you do a show on the unclassified docs? Okay, I'll start looking into that. Let me just make sure I look at this here. Where was Claire? Claire Butterfield, Susan Collins, and the other one, Lisa Murkowski, are frauds. They're frauds. They hate Trump. Hate him. Deplorable Dan Barry Tarrant is, I guess I said it right. I must have said Tarrant before, but Tarrant is what the word is for how Texans talk about it. Thank you very much. Tarrant, Texas. Deplorable Dan, thank you very much. And let me just go here. Ronald Jackson from Canada, thank you very much. 1 Bitcoin right now is $100,000, but you don't have to buy an entire Bitcoin. You can buy way down to a quarter, a tenth, a millimeter. I mean, you can go very small. I made 35K in Bitcoin in the past 2 months, but easy come, easy goes. Just get comfortable. Make sure you know what you're doing. Even Trump released a coin, and Melania. Thank you, Richie, Lucy O'Connor. Any news on Dan Bongino? Dan Bongino will not be the new director. Hey, stop it! New director of the Secret Service. He just Sean Corrant is going to be the new guy. I believe his name is Sean. Let me just make sure I know his name. Sorry about that. That's my pit bull. He's coming in here. Midas, stop. Be good. Come here. Excuse me for a second. 1 second here. All right, everybody. I gotta get moving here. All right. So that was all the shut Midas. That was all the super chats. He's going nuts because we have a vendor here. I told you I had to meet somebody, so I'm gonna jump here. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you in a little while if I end up doing a 7:30 show. Mike, he's being bad. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.